What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm here with my boyfriend Ryan today, and we are going to be answering your 15 most frequently asked questions about supplements. So FAQs for subs, the top 15 that we both have experienced getting the most of with our clients and people. Anyways, top 15 FAQs about subs, and we're kicking it off with creatine.
The most frequently asked question that I get about creatine is when to take it. So you can take it either before or after your workout. After is a little bit more effective, but you're really not going to notice any more difference. And make sure you take it with carbs because it's transported using insulin, which is activated when you eat carbs.
Okay, and then the second question for creatine is, why should I take it? A lot of people, I think creatine is a supplement that is probably the most beneficial but the least used in a lot of people, especially women. So why should you take creatine?
Helps build muscle and strength.
And it helps maintain your muscle while you're cutting. That's why I love it. Actually, I love it. I take it all the time when I'm cutting and when I'm bulking and everything. I just think it's like the best. So this next question kind of pertains to me saying, like, a lot of women are scared to take creatine, and it's, will it make me gain weight? Because there's this weird misconception about creatine that girls especially have, that they're afraid when they take it that they're going to gain weight or get bloated or hold water and whatever, and
that's not true.
Initially, when you take creatine, you might experience like a little bit of your body holding water, but to combat this, I assure you that it's going to go away if you take it every single day and you stay hydrated. As long as you stay hydrated, your body will get used to the creatine and the water, and you'll just flush it out and you won't have any problems, and you'll get all the benefits. So if you could stick through, some people don't even experience that. I never did. But if you are afraid of that, don't let that scare you and deter you from taking creatine, because the benefits totally outweigh maybe the couple days that you might feel like you're holding water. Okay, the next supplement we're gonna go over is pre-workout.
So the frequently asked question that I get the most about pre-workout from my clients is, how late can I take pre-workout? A lot of my clients, they get off work like 5 or 6 and go to the gym like 6 or 7. And the way I usually answer is that you need to assess your tolerance first with the pre-workout and know how well you are going to be able to know your own body, know when you're going to be able to sleep after you take the pre-workout. And I would say definitely not take 2 scoops of pre-workout past 7, past 6, past 5. But yeah, it really just comes down to how well you know your body and how well you know your pre-workout.
Yeah, so if you're a person that's very sensitive to stimulants and caffeine, and if you drink a cup of coffee and you can't sleep for like hours later, I would suggest you find a pre-workout that is stimulant-free. Or if you're like myself and you love high stimulated pre-workouts, I do fine as long as I don't take it. Like if I know that I'm going to the gym at like 6 p.m., I'll take a half scoop and I'll be totally fine. Or I'll just mix it with some sport aminos from 1UP, and that will make like the perfect combination. Usually, like when I train later, I do the sport amino instead of the full scoop of the 1UP pre-workout, because that's super high stimulated. But yeah, it just depends on how your tolerance is to caffeine and just knowing your body, like you said. So, okay, next question for pre-workout is, which pre-workout should I take? Again, that comes back to knowing your body and knowing what kind of experience you want from a pre-workout, like deciding what you want from a pre-workout. For me personally, I like pre-workouts that are highly stimulated, and lots of pump. Those are my 2 like requirements in a pre-workout. So a lot of other people, they don't like the high stimulants, but they want the good pump. A lot of people just want the focus and the energy and no pump. So what about you? What do you like in a pre-workout?
Yeah, I like a balance of both. Usually I drink coffee in the mornings and I go to the gym around like midday, so I don't want to load up on caffeine too early in the day and then just get a really fat headache at night. But yeah, like she said, there are pre-workouts that don't even have caffeine in the pre-workouts, and yeah, there are some that just have the blood vessel vasodilators that help increase the pump and the blood rush to your muscles when you're training. And some athletes who don't need that, like long distance runners, just would benefit from caffeine only.
Because why would they need a pump? They're running.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But if you guys need a suggestion on a pre-workout, I highly recommend the one from One Up if you like a lot of caffeine and a lot of pump. Some of my clients who use it, they use a half scoop, and it's perfect for them if they don't like so much caffeine.
Yeah, I use a quarter scoop.
I use a full scoop, like a fully rounded scoop. But I also really enjoy the sport. You've never tried the Sportamino, huh?
I haven't.
You would like it because it's less caffeine. Anyways, okay. Third question for pre-workout. Why am I so itchy? That's something I get all the time when people take a pre-workout and their lips start to tingle and they get itchy, like tingles everywhere. So I'll let you answer that one.
I don't get that question. So.
You don't get that question ever?
Mm-mm.
I've been staring at it the whole time. So, the reason that you're getting itchy is, well, I've heard people call it the beta tingles, which is the beta alanine in the pre-workout, and other people blame it on the niacin.
Yeah, the overdose on niacin basically is called the niacin flush, but usually it's beta alanine that does that.
The itchiness or the tingling?
The ting.
So I get both of those questions. They're just kind of like
The
combined.
tingle is the beta alanine.
The
The
tingles.
itch, I'm not sure
The
actually.
niacin, right?
Might be niacin.
The point is, don't let it freak you out. It should wear off in a couple minutes, and then you'll get all the benefits from the niacin. But what does niacin do for your body when you're working out? Quiz time.
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know this. Yeah, I just know like it helps. It's a good pre-workout supplement.
Should we look it up?
No.
So, niacin is actually vitamin B3, and it helps the body convert food into fuel. So that is why you should definitely power through the itchiness and let the niacin work. Okay, next question. Moving on to protein. Take it away.
How much protein do I need? That's a good question. It's really going to depend on your body weight. Your body weight is probably the biggest thing it comes down to for how much protein you need.
Do you think that it's really the body weight, or do you think it's their lean body mass?
True, yes.
It's their lean body mass.
Yes,
Because
definitely.
if you are a very overweight person and you're, assuming that you're a very overweight person and you're like 5'2" and 250 pounds, you shouldn't be eating 250 grams of protein just because that's your weight. So realistically, you want to go off of your lean body mass or just kind of, ballpark it, right? So like, for example, I'm 135 pounds and I eat around 120 grams of protein. So not quite what my body weight is because I'm not super like lean right now. What would you say?
Yeah, most people do not need 1 gram per pound of body weight. So if you need to go like a little bit less than that, like maybe 0.9, like 90% of your body weight in grams of protein, maybe. The more active you are, the more protein you're going to need. The harder and longer you train, like endurance runners eat a lot more protein than, say, CrossFit or, yeah, I didn't want to say that, but...
Well, they only work out for like 15 minutes at a time. Well, it's true. Have you ever done a CrossFit workout?
No, and I never will.
It's good. It would kick your ass, I bet.
Yeah, it would.
Anyways, okay, next question. I hope that made sense for you guys. When is the best time to take protein? I would say, well, there's different kinds of protein. There's whey, there's casein. Whey is quick digesting protein, so it's best to be taken like right after you do something, like 30 minutes after you work out, take your whey. If you're taking a protein shake at nighttime, it's better to take the casein because it's a slow digesting protein and it's going to feed your body through the night while you sleep.
Yes. And if you're milk intolerant, dairy intolerant like me, you take brown rice protein.
Or you wait for 1UP's new vegan line that's coming out. Did I just say that? It's coming soon. Okay. A question that I get a lot about protein is, can I take 2 scoops in one day, or what's my limit for protein? You should really try to get your protein from your food sources. Protein supplements are good, and they're a good tool to use if you need help reaching your protein goals, but you should not depend on them to get your protein. So I would say 2 scoops a day is probably maximum what I would recommend somebody to take. Unless you're just, right? What would you say?
Yeah, 2 scoops. Well, protein powder is mostly for the convenience. Right. So if you find yourself needing to rely on protein, you should probably rethink how you're going about eating your food for the day. You might need to consider meal prepping. But yeah, you can't rely on protein powders because 1, it's going to get expensive. 2, your body is going to build an intolerance to the proteins that you've been eating too consecutively. So you could actually build a milk intolerance from eating too much protein powder.
So main takeaway from that point is try to get it from your food sources and use it as a tool to fill in whatever you couldn't achieve with your food.
Yes.
And next we're moving on to fat burners.
What's that?
Can I still take pre-workout while I'm on a fat burner? And your answer is, it depends on the fat burner and the pre-workout. If you're taking a pre-workout that has no caffeine, by all means, take the fat burner. If you're taking a fat burner that has a lot of stimulants, don't take the 1UP pre-workout because it has like a lot of stimulants too, and then you're just gonna be like way overstimulated. So make sure you read about the products before you take them, and be smart and really be aware of your caffeine intake every day. One time, a couple years ago, I accidentally took about 1,000 milligrams of caffeine out within like a 3-hour window, and I almost died. It was so scary. So I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Be aware of your caffeine, and that goes, like, I had coffee, I had tea, I had pre-workout, and I had a fat burner. And I just didn't connect the dots that all of those things had caffeine, and I just, remember, that was horrible. Ugh. So just be aware of what you're taking. And if you want to take a fat burner and your pre-workout, maybe you take the fat burner in the morning and then you work out in the afternoon so it doesn't really interfere. I know the 1UP fat burner, the Make Her Lean for women, they have one for men too. It's called Pro Ripped. You're supposed to take 1 in the morning with breakfast and then 1 6 hours later. So if you're doing that, take 1 in the morning and then skip the second pill and do your pre-workout. Or you could take the second pill and not do the pre-workout. So that's my advice. Okay, next question, you go.
Is it going to make me feel jittery? That really depends on how much caffeine is in it, how much caffeine you're taking around it, and yeah, your overall tolerance to caffeine.
It all depends on what you take and who you are. So how late can I take it? That also just depends on your tolerance and your ability to go to sleep while stimulated. I don't know. It really just depends, and I would recommend just starting with the lowest amount and kind of just trial and erroring it until you are totally familiar with your body and the product and how they mix. So the last topic of supplements we're going to go over today are BCAAs, and you go.
Branched chain amino acids. What do they do? Basically, they're going to help you maintain muscle mass, whether you're training or in between meals. They're a good thing to take. So yeah, when you're training, they're going to help you with your endurance and help your body not break down your muscle tissue while you're training. Also while you're fasting.
When do you take them? I honestly like to take them while I work out. And then when I was prepping, I used to drink them in between meals just to kind of get me to the next meal. And then also, if you know that you're not going to be eating for a long time, you might as well take some BCAAs just to get a little bit of aminos in you so that your muscle doesn't burn away while you're waiting for your next meal. Should you track them?
It really depends on the BCAAs you're taking. Most BCAAs on the market now do not have a significant amount of calories. So it's not really necessary to track them because they don't even have micros. So, I mean, MyFitnessPal doesn't track like isoleucine and leucine and valine. So you really don't have to track them unless you're like super OCD about tracking things.
If you're like a week out of prep, you might want to track them.
You might want to limit them because, I mean, they have the artificial sugars and stuff which may affect your insulin, your fat storage. But for the most part, I mean, they don't even have calories, so MyFitnessPal wouldn't help with that. It's just important to minimize them if you're leading up to a competition, maybe.
But it's also you got to make sure that you have the right BCAAs. Like if you have BCAAs that have like 20 calories in them, you might want to wonder what's actually in them because regular BCAAs shouldn't have anything. So if your BCAAs are high in calorie, then I would be like very suspicious about them. Right? Okay. That wraps up our frequently asked questions about supplements. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to follow Ryan on his YouTube channel. I have it on my homepage, so it's just right on the right-hand side, so you can click and subscribe to him. He's very knowledgeable. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time here on my channel. Comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.